Welcome. Here we are. I'm joined by Mik and Prosil, and we have more predictions for the upcoming generation of console. I have a question for my two guests. If you haven't followed the previous video, make sure you do so. Follow the channel. Question for this segment is: we just said that this console generation is going to be lasting a certain amount of years, and it's going to have a certain amount of success, and you guys said yours. But what I want to ask you guys is, as we are sending a message to our future selves of the future, is how much do you think at the end of this generation we will realize COVID-19 has impacted the start of this generation in terms of market penetration and games? How bad or how impactful will have been COVID-19? What do you think it's gonna feel like one day when you will look back at this year?
I wanted to talk about that because you kind of hinted at it on the previous segment. I think that ultimately, at this point, we definitely have more sales of video games ever, probably. But probably this is gonna impact more consoles because people. I'm assuming, I'm saying what I'll do. Not buy a new console, but I'd rather buy way more video games, if it makes sense. So we'll probably not get an increase in console sales, but we will keep having an increase of video games sales for sure. Looking back, we'll realize that COVID actually hit the console or the actual market sales. The console sales generally.
Prosil, what do you think about the COVID impact on the business and the market? What do you think you are gonna think once you will look back?
It definitely accelerated people playing games, and it's something that people can use now. People that before were doing other activities, now they're playing games because time really flies when you play games. So I think that's positive impact.
Interesting. Well, I think personally that, as I said in my previous segment, I think it is going to slow down the adoption of new console. And I think that, yes, even though we have more gamers, I think that people are gonna start gaming on a budget in 2021, 2022, combined with the fact that there's not gonna be a lot of games that really push the new consoles. I think that this is really going to slow down the market more than people are really predicting now in 2020. And one day, I think in 2025 or maybe 2028, we will look back at this year and realize that this was a kick to the shin or a punch in the gut of the market. And I think it may just be a silent bomb that is really fully explode next year when people will not be so keen on spending. Anyway, this is our thoughts, and we recorded them now. It's going to be interesting to look back at these predictions. But let's move forward, but not too much. Still talking about hardware. Next question for you in the next segment is going to be: which console variation do you think is going to sell the most? Especially talking about the fact whether physical or digital, the big fight between physical and digital. We'll be right back.